Imagine you're a brilliant software engineer in India or a data scientist in Europe. You finally get your dream job offer in Silicon Valley in the US. But before you can even pack your bags, your new employer has to pay the US government over $100,000 just to file your visa paperwork. Yeah, you heard that right. The Trump administration has just announced a massive new $100,000 fee for H1B visas. It's one of the biggest immigration changes in decades, and it could reshape how tech companies hire, how recruiters source talent, and even how global workers think about coming to the US. So today's video, we're gonna break it all down. What the H1B visa actually is, what's changing, why it matters, and most importantly, what does this mean for employers, recruiters, and job seekers? Let's get started. Before we talk about the new fee, we need to understand what the H1B visa even is. The H1B is a US work visa created for what's called specialty occupations. That basically means jobs that require advanced knowledge, usually at least a bachelor's degree or higher. Think engineers, computer scientists, doctors, architects, researchers, etc. The visa was designed to help US companies fill talent gaps. If a company in California can't find enough machine learning engineers locally, they can sponsor someone from India or Germany to come work legally in the US. The visa typically lasts 3 years and can be extended up to 6. For many international students who graduate from US universities, the H1B visa is also their pathway to stay and build a career here. And this isn't just a small program. Companies like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Infosys, and TCS have been some of the largest users of H1B visas, especially for tech and IT roles. In fact, most H1Bs go to STEM jobs, with India being by far the largest source of workers. So in short, the H1B exists because America needs highly skilled workers, and the global talent pool has been critical for keeping US tech at the top. Now that we've got that context, let's look at how things used to work before this change. Up until now, sponsoring an H1B worker was not cheap, but it was within reach for most companies. Employers had to pay a combination of filing fees, a base filing fee around $460, a fraud prevention fee of $500, training fees that range from about $1,500 to $4,000 depending on the company size, and if you wanted faster services, premium processing was another $2,500. When you add it all up, a company might spend between $5,000 and $10,000 per worker just to get through the process. That's real money, but it's manageable, especially for big tech firms or even mid-sized companies that desperately need the talent. Now, compare that to the new proposal, $100,000 flat per worker. That's not a tweak, that's a complete overhaul. It's like multiplying the old costs by 10 or even 20 times overnight. And that's why this announcement sent shockwaves to the business and tech community. So let's get into exactly what the Trump administration has announced. On September 19th, 2025, President Trump confirmed that companies sponsoring new H1B workers from outside the US will not have to pay a one-time $100,000 entrance fee per petition. There are a few important clarifications. First, this only applies to new petitions for workers who are outside the US as of September 21st, 2025. If you're already inside the US with an H1B or you've already been approved, you're safe. Second, it's a one-time fee, not a usual renewal. Third, the measure is set to last for 12 months, but the White House could extend it. According to reports from Reuters and CBS News, the administration framed this as a way to prioritize the highest skilled, highest paid workers and to protect American jobs during a fragile economic period. But let's put it in another perspective. If a company wants to hire 50 engineers from abroad, they're not looking at $5 million in fees before even paying salaries, relocation costs, or benefits. For startups or smaller firms, that's basically a deal breaker. So the natural question is, why is this happening? What's the rationale behind such a drastic move? Real quick, if you ever thought about starting your own recruitment agency or you're a recruiter struggling to land clients, you'll want to check out our coaching and implementation program. Inside, I give you the exact scripts, the outreach templates, and acquisition systems I used to hit over $500,000 my first year, scale to over $100,000 months, and do over $5 million in placements on my own desk. Our students are already hitting $30,000, $50,000, even $80,000 per month or more, many of them doing it part-time. So if you want to learn the same playbook, the link's below. It's exactly what I use. Now back to the video. The Trump administration's stated goal is to protect American workers. The argument is that the H1B program has sometimes been abused, with companies bringing in foreign workers at lower wages and placing US talent. By adding a $100,000 price tag, the thinking is that only companies who truly need the talent can afford it, will actually go through the process. The administration also wants to push wages higher since the Department of Labor has been directed to raise prevailing wage levels for H1Bs. That means if you do bring in a foreign worker, you'll likely have to pay them more. But critics, including leaders in the tech industry and India's IT sector, say that this could easily backfire. Instead of protecting US jobs, it might push more companies to offshore work. According to the Hindustan Times, Indian IT firms like Infosys and TCS see this as a major disruption, not only for their employees, but also for their US clients. So on paper, it's about protecting American workers. In practice, the ripple effects may be much more complicated. Now, let's talk about the real-world impact. What does this mean for different groups? First, American workers. On the surface, this could be good news. If it suddenly becomes way more expensive to bring in foreign engineers, companies may turn to local candidates first. That could increase job opportunities and even push wages higher in some industries. But there's another side to this coin. If companies can't find the right talent locally, they may not hire domestically at all. They may just move the work entirely abroad. So instead of more jobs in the US, we could actually see more jobs leaving the US. For foreign workers, the impact is immediate. Imagine you're a young software engineer in Europe and you get an offer from a US startup. Under the old rules, your employer might have been willing to sponsor you. But under the new rules, that same employer has to pay an extra $100,000 just to bring you over. For most startups, that's impossible. The result is that H1B sponsorship may now be reserved only for very senior, highly paid roles where companies can justify that massive upfront cost. If you're early in your career, the door to the US just got a lot harder to open. And then there are the companies and recruiters. This is where a strategy really shifts. Instead of sponsoring, many firms may start hiring remotely and keeping international talent in their home country. Others may turn to contracting with offshore firms in India or Eastern Europe. For those who do sponsor, they'll reserve it only for mission-critical hires. Infosys, TCS, Wipro, Microsoft, and Amazon, some of the largest H1B users, are already reviewing how this impacts their staffing plans, according to AP News in India Today. For recruiters, this means fewer international relocation cases, but potentially more demand for domestic sourcing. At the same time, there could be a rise in contract or gig-based hiring globally, whereas visas aren't needed at all. So the implications cut both ways. Local workers may see new opportunities, but international workers and global hiring strategies are about to shift dramatically. Beyond the immediate impact, there are ripple effects worth noting. One big concern is innovation. The US tech industry has thrived on global talent. Limiting that pipeline could slow down progress in areas like AI, cloud, and biotech. There are also diplomatic consequences. India's government has already raised concerns since Indians make up the majority of H1B workers. And there could be legal challenges too. Immigration lawyers are debating whether the executive branch even has the authority to impose such a high fee without Congress. Expect lawsuits in the coming months. And finally, global competition is a factor. Countries like Canada and Australia, which already have more immigration-friendly systems, could become even more attractive to skilled workers. If the US makes it harder to enter, talent may simply just go elsewhere. So what's the big takeaway? Well, the H1B visa was built to bring the best and brightest into the US workforce, but a $100,000 fee changes everything. For American engineers, this could mean less competition. For international workers, it could mean the US dream just got a whole lot more expensive. And for recruiters and companies, it's a pivot point. We may see a shift away from relocation and more towards remote and contract hiring models. The question now is, will this make America stronger, or will it actually push talented innovation elsewhere? I would also love to hear your perspective in the comments below. Do you think this protects US workers, or does it actually hurt America's competitiveness in the long run? If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more recruiter insights, and ring the bell so you don't miss updates. This policy is still fresh, and we'll keep you posted as the story evolves. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one.